Hello, my name is TheHistory. Educational psychology is a study of uh, how people learn, including teaching and methods in instructional process and behavioral and emotional and social influence on the learning process. Educational psychology is simple knowledge guidance from psychology and applied to the activities of the classroom. The Greek philosophers Plato and Aristotle discuss topics still studied by educational psychologists. First, the role of a teacher. Second, the relationship between a teacher and student. And third, methods of teaching. Four, the naturals and order of learning. And five, the role of effects in learning. And now I am going to talking about from 1640. He was a practical pedagogue who valued and of the psychology of the student. His thinking is expressed and based on he was a European educational. He suggested the student the work of Aristotle in the original language. He brought Latin to his students. He replaced medieval texts with texts that suited the vocabulary and lifestyle of his day. 1592 and 1617. Comenius was a Moravian philosopher. He served as the last bishop of Britain before becoming a religious refuge and one of the first advocates of universal education. The concept was eventually introduced in his book Didactique Magna. He developed a philosophy of education based on approach, understanding, retention, and practice. Its objective is to improve student learning. Theology of Comenius was a bishop of the unity of the British Church that had its root in the teaching of chess reformer Jan Hus. One of his most famous theological works is the Labyrinth of the world and parodies of her. Frederick Herbert, 1776, and 1841. Herbert is when he proposed the minimum approach the intellectual education, in the area of education. He outlined um, a course of pedagogy, manuals of psychology, as a blank street. He believes that there are no innate idioms, but a human capacity, moral. One of Herbert's most important works is um, General Pedagogy derived in 1860. Elements of general philosophy in 1880. Psychology as essence with a new foundation in experience, metaphysics, and in mathematics. In, in 1824, general metaphysics, the philosophy of natural in 1909. Wilhelm Wundt in 1832 and 1920. Wundt was a German psychologist, philosopher, and physiologist who founded experimental psychology laboratory in Leipzig. The subjective, how we perceive what we perceive. For one, psychology is the consciousness in one viewed as on inner feelings in order to observe consciousness. You just have and you can describe development of the mind was an important topic that um, through the psychology of children and comparative and animals, mainly on historical development. William James, 1842 and 1910. William James student E.L. Turnitin wrote the education psychology text in 1903. James proposed a psychophysiological theory of emotions, known as the James Lange theory. It seeks to explain emotional behavior in quite original terms. James said that we are all afraid because we run and not the other way around. This theory as responses to stimuli and experience, how the autonomic nervous system creates psychological responses from which emotions are created. In 1872, James was appointed instructor in physiology at Harvard College. He served until in 1876. Alfred Binet, 1857 and 1911. Sorry. Um, Alfred Binet was a French psychologist best remembered for developing the first Weeeeen used intelligence test. The tests are in standards sample and released the way 1859, 1953. The way is not important in consideration of the insertion of education. Sense. History or learning is especially important. First point is learning through experience and daily experience. Second point is social life is key to development. And third point is promotes the independence of research. The way in 19 education as a product of this content with traditional education, which imposes adults standards, subject and methodologies. He believed that the traditional education, as just described, was beyond the scope of young learners. Edward Thorndike, 1860, 1704 and 1949. Edward Thorndike was an influential psychologist who is often referred to as founder of modern educational psychology. He was perhaps best known for his famous puzzle boat experience with cats, which led to the development of his law of effects. Edward Thorndike is known for the law of effects and often called the father of modern educational psychology. A student learning experience can be improved by using tourniquet theory of learning, which is powerful and learning strategy. Learning is best understood as um, connecting point between ideas and experience. The case of learning, according to Thorndike, lies in the ability of learners to form new connections in their brains that can be used later on. Led by Vygotsky, 1896, 1896 and 1934. Lev Vygotsky was a Russian psychologist and teacher who developed a theory about how our social interaction influence. This is known as Le Vygotsky social-cultural theory of cognitive development. Vygotsky's social development theory asserts that a child's cognitive development and learning ability can be guided and mentioned mediated by their daily social interaction. His theory also states that he expands on this by stating that a child learning benefits greatly from being guided by a more knowledgeable members of the community, like as a parent or a teacher. Theory also suggests that because that children internalize and learn um, from the belief and attitudes that they witness around them. Jean Piaget and 1896 and 1980. Theory of cognitive development suggests that intelligence changes as children grow. A child's cognitive development is not just about acquiring knowledge. The child has to develop or reconstruction a mental model of the world. Cognitive development occurs through the interaction of innate capacities, maybe natural, and environmental events nurtured and children pass through a series of stages. Together, the children's cognitive development occurs in stage. These stages are sensorimotor stages by 0 and 2 years old, pre-operational stage by 2 and 7 years old. Concrete operational stage is 7 and 11 years old. And the last formal operational stage is by 11 years old through adulthood. Okay. Benjamin Blount, 1930 and 1999. A Blount model consisted of the 6 levels, and a new version is creating, evaluating, analyzing, applying, understanding, and remembering. With the 3 lowest level is knowledge, comprehension, and applying. Is remember, understanding, applying. Being more basic than the higher levels, analysis, system, synthesis, and evaluation. Is the analyzing, and evaluation and creating. Is a new version of Blount's taxonomy. Something of the level as a Star Wars, in which learners are encouraged to achieve a higher level of thinking if a student has mastered a higher level. Then he or she is considered to have mastered levels below. Bulhurst Frederick Skinner, 1904 and 1990. Skinner was an American psychologist known for his impact on behaviorists. In a 22 survey of psychologists, he was identified as the most influential psychologist of the 20th century. Skinner himself referred to his psychology as philosophy, has radical behaviorists. He suggests suggests that the concept of free will was simple and illusional, and instead believed that all human action was a direct result uh, of conditioning. Skinner's theory of learning, operant conditioning, according to Skinner's theories of learning, all behaviors are developed or conditioned through reinforcement. We operant with operant reference to any behavior that acts on the environment and leads the concept to the consequence. Skinner's theory of learning says that a person is first exposed to a stimulus which elicits a response, and the response is then reinforced. This ultimately is what condition our behavior. Jerome Bruner in 1915 and 2016. Bruner is regarded as one of the most influential and renowned educational psychology of the 20th century. Bruner came up with his learning theory in 1961. According to Bruner's theory, learning is inactive process where information is gathered and new ideas are formed concerning past knowledge and current knowledge. The four major aspects of Bruner's theory is one is predisposition towards learning. Two is the ways in which a body of knowledge can be structured so that it can be most really grasped by the learner. Three, the most effective sequence in which to present material. And four, the nature and passing of reward and punishment. David Hausberg, 1918 and 28. Paul Hausberg was an American psychologist whose most important contribution was educational psychology, cognitive science, and STEM education. Hausberg believed in understanding concepts, principles, and ideas through a deduction reason. Learning theory believe in the learning of knowledge. Knowledge relies on what is all right now. That is construction of knowledge begins with observation and recognition of events and objects to concept we already have. Hausberg theory is concerned with how individuals learn large amounts of meaningful material from verbal, textual presentation in a school setting. According to Hausberg, learning is based upon the kinds of subordinated representational and combinational process according the discipline of information. Now, future of educational psychology. And in the future, they are encouraged to continue exploring and defending the objects on inquire and to expand the protocol that is the basic domain of the teaching and learning process from which all their knowledges and strengths are derived. This is my homework. Thank you so much.